Hello, and welcome to the Digital Perspectives. I'm Prabin Gautam, your host today. This program is all about exploring your digital trends, strategies, and really practical ideas to help your business build a brand and monetize it. I can see a number of the viewers are watching this right now from different social medias, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yes, we are in YouTube Live right now, and LinkedIn, which is my favorite channel. So, yeah, if you're watching this, feel free to give a thumbs up, comments, or share this post to a wider community. All right, so let's go today in a very interesting topic. Actually, one thing right now, we are hearing often in both business and personal is confidence. Yes, my friend, confidence. Everyone is talking about confidence, business confidence, confidence in in the skills building up, or that might be finding the new jobs, wherever, whatever the positions you might be in right now. All we're hearing about confidence, and I'm a great believer on it. So today I'm very excited and lucky to have Mariya, who is a TEDx speaker as well as keynote speaker and a thought leader on confidence and adaptability. So let me quickly welcome Mariya. Great to have you. Welcome to the show, Mariya.
Thank you. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello. Yeah, you're very, very busy, and thanks for making up the time. We are really excited. My viewers are excited, and this morning when you post in the LinkedIn, gee, the interactions and people where I can see that they want to know more about the how. Obviously, the topic today is how to project your confidence the virtual presentation in the virtual presentation, because everyone is talking about virtual these days, and especially someone like us, we are locked down in Melbourne and just waiting for this all open up. Now, yeah, you often mention in several posts, and you're writing the new book as well, yeah, Mariya?
Yes, that's correct. Firstly, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for having me. And yes, that's right. I'm starting a series of ebooks, and in my first book, there will be chapter on confidence.
Beautiful. And you often mention the confidence is a skill, and not an emotion, which is quite a fascinating. Actually, I was when I read that, I was like, wow, that's I never heard about that. So, could you please walk us through that idea, Mariya?
Yes, when I started my research on confidence, I was very surprised to find out that it is actually a skill. And very importantly, that we're born with certain amount of skill of confidence. So it is initially programmed into our DNA. But as we go along life, we can, our confidence decreases and increases, and we can actually do a few little things that can help us to increase that skill. So unfortunately, very often we confuse confidence for other five things.
Hmm.
One of them, for example, is arrogance. So people often think that if someone is loud and they act like they know it all, that they're confident, but actually it's arrogance. It's arrogance is when you walk into a room and you think that you're better than anybody else and everybody else. But confidence is when you walk into a room and you don't compare yourself to anyone. So that's a really, really big difference between arrogance and confidence. Also, people often confuse confidence with personality traits, thinking that extroverts are confident and introverts are not, but that's not true either. If we look at the majority of famous figures, of influencers, of successful people, we will see that the vast majority of them are actually introverts. So among examples, we can see, for example, Steve Jobs,
Yeah.
Elon Musk, Oprah, Meryl Streep, many, many people that are introverted and high achievers, high flyers, and have become very successful. So
Mm,
you
I
wanted to
like
ask
I like
something?
your perspectives. How you think about, obviously, many time when we think about confidence, people always think, oh, you got to be extrovert, you got to be, you got to, and I think that makes you made a very clear point here, being a not being arrogant, being really who you are and what you are true about. And one thing I particularly like what you just said is being introvert. As an introvert, you can also have a confidence as well. So that's a quite interesting. Now, obviously our viewers are curious to know, obviously, very uncertain times and in this pandemic. So, yeah, what has been working for you to fuel your confidence, Mariya, if that's okay, and to your clients?
There are a few techniques, and we don't have time today to talk about everything. I write more about that in my upcoming book, and I also include tips and techniques in my talks as well. But I'm sorry, nothing ever goes according to plan, you see. The best advice that I have ever got in my entire life is treat everything as an experiment. That just lifted that pressure of my shoulders, that
Mm.
huge weight that I was carrying around, and that was absolutely unnecessary. We tend to strive to make everything right and to make everything perfect and to make all the right decisions. But this is unachievable. And it's also absolutely unnecessary. If things were perfect, that would be very, very boring. And if everything went according to plan, we wouldn't be able to grow. We would be very weak species. So if everything was perfect, if everything went according to plan, I think that we human beings would already died a long time ago, either of boredom or of weakness. Trust me. So it's wonderful that things happen and that sometimes we make wrong decisions and that we make mistakes and we learn from them. So that phrase, that advice that was given me, treat everything as an experiment, was life changing. It was that moment that changed my life drastically.
So what you're saying is treat everything as an experiment. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
absolutely.
Yeah. It's quite fascinating. I mean, one of the things which when I was reading the book with Richard Branson, which I'm sure many of the viewers have learned, screw it, let's do it. So it's all talk about, looking forward for the future. It's talk about, experimenting things. No one is perfect. It's just experimenting the journey and whole, being on the journey so that you always learn of the growth. So that's very cool. Now, what are some tips then, Maria? Do you think that, for a business leader, because obviously, in this business world especially, people think about, oh, you need to have a competence, you need to have all these skills, and then obviously in other hand, you need there is a confidence. So how would you take that, in a way that, it's approachable?
Yeah, competence is, of course, very, very important, but it's something that you can learn along the way. Confidence is an attitude. Since you mentioned Richard Branson, who I love dearly, he one of his famous quotes is that being an entrepreneur is jumping off the cliff and learning, finding a way to build an airplane along the way. So this is his famous quote, and I absolutely love it. And it shows that confidence is an attitude. It's understanding that if I have an idea, if I have an opportunity, it doesn't mean that I have to have all the skills necessary at that point in time. It doesn't mean that I have to have all the knowledge, all the investors, all the money, all my entire team ready to make it happen. Confidence is about I will figure it out. So it's believing in their own capabilities. Another great example would be Elle Macpherson. I was lucky when she was touring last year around Australia with her talks. It wasn't really a talk, actually. She was interviewed on stage, and I was lucky to come to her Melbourne event. And of course, she was asked because she's a serial entrepreneur, a very successful entrepreneur. And she was asked, of course, what is the secret to her success? And she said, well, just when I have an idea, I say to myself, hey, let's give it a try. Let's give it a go. Let's just see what happens. So that comes back to that advice that I got. Treat everything as an experiment. So it really, really helps to boost confidence in the long run.
You bet. You bet. That actually, in fact, that reminds me, how I started my journey back in, coming from other part of the world, from Nepal. And, every we started as a migrant. You would understand, as a female and migrant, many of you would understand that how hard it is, and obviously started the business here. And then, it was not easy. I still remember many, many times, clients and prospect would say, oh, Prabin, your English is not good enough. Your writing is not good enough. Your presentation is not good enough. Many, many times, I've heard about, but only thing my answer would be, look, I'm just working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So still, no matter what I'm doing and how we are growing, but still my simple language is, look, I'm working on it. I'm not good at everything, but I love doing. And again, as you said, it's experimenting, trying to do, and it might be mistakes. You just do it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's very important to realize that mistakes is not something that is opposite to success, but it's part of our success journey. That's stepping stones of our success journey. And this is how we learn and how we grow and how we get better and smarter and stronger, thanks to failures and mistakes. So when we make a mistake, we should be actually happy about it. We should be excited about it because it is an opportunity to grow and to go further.
Great advice, Mariana. That's awesome. Now, yeah, what would be, because obviously now we, from the physical, meetings and all these conferences and speaking, speaking world, obviously you go and present physically, but now all is moving to virtually, right? So all the business owners, CEO, directors, entrepreneurs, all they have to present virtually in a world like this, exactly, whether that may be live streaming, whether that might be Zoom, or whether that may be whatever the platforms they are using it. So what are some key ideas for our viewers right now on how to project the confidence virtually, Mariya?
Yes. Well, virtual communication is tricky because it's not something that we're used to, in particular because 85% of our communication is actually not about what we say, but in particular about our body language. So when we have virtual communication, presenter struggles and the audience struggles because the audience cannot see the entire person. So our brain doesn't see the entire body language. And one of the main things is that our hands are very, very important. And you can see a lot of influencers and public figures over-exaggerating with their hands. That's because the way our brain evolved is when we don't see person's hands, our brain thinks, there must be something wrong. What if that person is carrying a weapon?
Really?
It's true. And the funny thing is that our brain doesn't understand the difference between real and non-real. So even if we consciously understand that, hey, this is a virtual communication, this is a virtual conversation, even if the person has a weapon, it's not going to do anything. Our brain doesn't get that. Our brain is still stuck in that Stone Age mode. So yes, because it doesn't separate virtual from real, and because it's wired to read the body language and in particular to pay attention to hands, it makes it quite complicated. This is why you can see some presenters stand further from the camera, so you can see more of their body, and you can see everyone is over-exaggerating with their hands when it's an online thing, or when it's an online talk or webinar or whatever that is. I don't really like doing that, but this is what you need to do.
Right. So those viewers who are watching, is probably a couple of ideas is on the web camera, make sure that but sometimes when you move too much as well, it's just distracting, isn't it?
Yeah. You've got to find a balance, of course. It just takes practice. But this is our new reality. This is something that's going to stay. This is not something that's just here temporarily, the virtual communication. So we just need to keep practicing, and we're going to get better at that.
You bet. So that is the key way. Is there any other ideas that our viewers can implement besides the body language, besides the gestures? Is there anything? What about the tone and anything being present? How do you think those skills are important while we're presenting virtually?
Everything is important, but I think the most important thing is to be confident overall. If you train yourself to be a confident person in life, you're most definitely going to look confident on camera as well. This is where it starts. I can see a lot of experts, when they talk about confidence on camera, they go to body hacks. So in particular, they often talk about Amy Cuddy's TED Talk, which is second most watched TED Talk, about power poses, that if you stand like a Wonder Woman, then it triggers your hormones and you become more confident. I don't agree with her because, of course, our body and our brain is a two-way street. So, for example, let's say if you hold a pencil or pen between your teeth for 2 minutes, it creates a fake smile.
Mm.
And your brain, after 2 minutes, the brain starts thinking, my host is happy, so something is happening, so I better trigger happy hormones roaming. And you start feeling happy. But the thing is that it doesn't last for long. It's a very temporary hack, body hack. So the same as with power poses, that they work for a few minutes, but it's not a solution in the long run. There are other techniques that help you to rewire your mind. And this is the main difference between body hacks and mind. They're both very, very important. We all need to know body hacks, in particular because we all find ourselves in a situation here and there where we get nervous, where we get scared, where we get anxious. So we need to do something in that particular moment to calm down. But at the same time, we need to work on rewiring our brain and our mind so we become more confident, more confident in the long run, that we rewire our brain to be more confident for good. So I don't agree with Amy Cuddy because she used to insist, she doesn't anymore. You can actually find her interview on the TED website where she kind of backs up
Right.
and reframes certain things. And she says that no one could repeat her experiment. So talk is great. I would really recommend to watch it because it is a body hack that we all should know. But I don't agree with her that it's meaningfully helps people, that it's meaningfully transforms our brain. It doesn't do that. In order for us to be confident permanently in the long run, we really need to work on our mind first.
You bet. Wow, what a great advice. Work on the mind to build the confidence for a long run. You nail it. Now, Mariya, thank you so much for you. And I'm with Mariya, who is a thought leader on confidence as well as adaptability. She's a TEDx speaker. If you have any specific questions to her, feel free to just type the questions, and we're more than happy to bring here right now. Or else, obviously, we will, Mariya and myself, we will jump in the chat and see how we can be able to help you or add some value there. Any other points on that, Mariya? Wow, I love going deeper. So anything for our viewers you want to share, especially the new book you are releasing, without too much, anything you like to share?
Yes, I actually would like to share, although I'm an advocate for rewiring brain and mind, I would like to share a really good body hack to calm down the nerves. And I learned that technique from a brilliant neuroscientist, Andrew Huberman from Stanford University. So it's a breathing technique. It takes only a few seconds, and it really helps to calm down immediately. So what he says is that you take a quick breath, like a quick breath, and then you take a second breath. And then you breathe out very, very slowly. So you go like this. And you do it a few times, and it really helps you to calm down your nerves, which is important. And, our nerves get best out of us here and there. It's not like everyone is always calm and relaxed when they have to give a talk, or in particular to be on camera. So if I were to highlight two takeaways from today, is the first one, to start rewiring your mind. One of the really great advices that I got was treat everything as an experiment. And the second one is the breathing technique that I just mentioned. And Andrew Huberman demonstrates it much better. You can look him up. He has lots of interviews on YouTube in particular where he talks about that technique. So treat everything as an experiment and do the breathing exercise.
Beautiful. Wow. Treat everything as an experiment. And that's where, there is no any procrastination, isn't it? It's just the confidence and you're experimenting. That's good. And other one is, and then,
So you breathe in twice. So you breathe in deeply but fast, and then you make a second breathe in very quickly as well, right, to fully expand your lungs. Right. And then you breathe out slowly. So you go like this, because if you do the other way around, it's actually going to make the effect will be the opposite. Yes.
It's a practice. You got to do a practice. Yeah.
Yeah. So breathe in twice and
Yeah.
then breathe out very slowly.
Slowly.
And then breathe in twice again and breathe out slowly. And just do it a few times. It really helps.
Beautiful. So that obviously helps on the virtually if anyone is presenting. That's a great insight, Mariya. Thank you so much for your
My
time and
pleasure.
great insight. Yeah, we'll really look forward to connecting more and giving more tips to our viewers in the coming days. Thanks, Mariya.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, guys. So, like Mariya, if you are curious on how to project confidence in your virtual presentation, I would love to hear your feedback. Yeah, if you want to contribute in this show, or if there's anything you want to share, yeah, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is right here, prabin@visnetwork.com.au. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.